Hey everybody, Jason Blaha here with Ice Cream Fitness. I'm just sitting here in my robe drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. And you'll notice I'm getting leaner. My cut's it's going pretty well, even though it's a really slow cut and I've only lost a couple pounds. Alright guys, today I'm not doing an informative video this morning. Instead, I want to address just a couple issues regarding my interaction with other YouTube channels and the way that I'm going to conduct my channel at this point on. Yesterday morning I hit 1,000 subscribers, which considering how new my channel is pretty fucking fast. And I had to make a decision yesterday when interacting with the Hodge twins of what sort of channel am I going to run. And I know that a lot of you guys who are subscribed to my channel are also subscribed to Ian's channel, and you guys know that I am very much in favor of science. I have a science background, and you guys would love for me to get into fights with some of the other channels on the science versus bro science. And that's worked really well for Ian, but I've got to be honest, that's just not my style. I really don't see that being the way that I want to take my channel. And I know in some ways it would be financially beneficial for me to do something like that because of the entertainment value. Drama draws people in. But I really started my channel because I have a passion for the iron game. I have a passion for bodybuilding, a passion for powerlifting. I enjoy helping other people. And if I'm busy getting involved in drama and conflicts with other channels, that's actually taking time away from me providing you guys with useful information that can actually help you. And a lot of people would find it entertaining, but I'm not helping anybody. And in doing so, all I will be doing is stirring up fights. And I have to be completely honest here, guys. When I started interacting with the Hodge twins yesterday, I found that contrary to what Ian and some other people have found who approached them in a rather hostile manner, that when I approached them with respect and as equals, I didn't get the same negative response back. They've allowed one of my video responses and said that they were doing so even though it conflicted with some of their information because it was a good video and I provided some good points. And if you're dealing with other people and they're willing to meet you in the middle ground and allow your video responses that disagree with them as long as you're respectful and present good information, I don't really see the need for there to be a conflict there. Why create a fight that doesn't need to be there? Now a couple of the larger channels, both Louis Marco and the Hodge twins, have allowed some of my videos. And so my information is there if people want to see it, if they want to see the other sides of some of these debates and the other end of the information, it's there available for them to see, to hear both sides and decide what they want to do. At the end of the day, there doesn't need to be a conflict there. And I think that there are things that people can draw of value out of the different aspects of this. I think that absolutely that scientific data and studying this and researching it and formal education in these fields, in the fields of nutritional science and exercise science, are critical to the development of sports and bodybuilding and powerlifting and things. And I think by that same token, the real world experience has its place. If you cannot learn to apply the data correctly that you learn from the textbook and apply it to the human body and realize how it will apply to different people, you're really only halfway there. And I think that sometimes lately in the community we get this detachment between the two of, one group will say that the others is completely useless. Those with real world experience and no background in science will say, well, the science isn't always right, and so I'm going to go with what I've seen that works. And then the scientific group will then say, well, anecdote is bullshit, and you guys are just lucky that that worked, and it doesn't work for the reasons that you think it do. But they have to remember that they've still learned how to make it work in a dynamic human model. I think there needs to be more communication between the two. And I think with me, I strike a pretty good balance in there. There are people who have more experience than me, but I have a lot of experience in this field. And it's the same with the education side. I have a decent amount of background at university studying these things, but there are people like Alan Aragon who blow me out of the water in terms of their education and knowledge in the field. But I think that I do strike a good balance between the two. So therefore, because I respect both sides of the coin and understand their use, I just don't feel the need to get into fights and conflicts with the other channels. I interact with Ian and I appreciate a lot of the material he puts out, and I don't agree with everything he has to say, but at the end of the day, I think his channel puts out a lot of good information. And it can be the same with guys like the Hodge twins and Louis Marco. I'm not going to agree with everything they have to say, and I may disagree with a lot of it. But at the end of the day, they do have a lot of experience and they have been successful, and they do know how to be successful despite not always understanding all of the science. And the other thing that we have to remember when we get into these debates is that we're a pretty small subculture. The majority of the people are fat, fucking lazy. They sit on the couch. They have no interest in developing their physiques or taking their performance to the next level. We are a minority subculture, and I don't think it's a good idea for us to always be this fractured and be fighting with each other when we have such a huge common ground in our passion for weightlifting and bodybuilding and for the iron game. I just don't think that there needs to be such a huge conflict when we share such a similar passion. I don't think it's good for the community for us to get into these big fights and debates and arguments that become personal and everything when really we're all part of the same community. We can have disagreements on individual points without them turning into personal attacks and fighting. For me personally, given the way that my channel has grown already, I think that my channel is strong enough on its own with the information that I present to you guys and just the way that I do so, that my channel is going to be fine and it's going to continue to grow without me having to get into debates and fights. And I would rather actively engage the community and find common ground with the other channels and find the things that we do agree on, rather than focus so heavily on what we disagree on. And the points that we disagree on, I'll have my material out there and people can see what I have to say on it and decide for themselves. Alright guys, thank you for listening, and that's really all I have to say on that today. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. And I'll talk to you next time.